This is one of the most mysterious and unforgettable books I've ever read. There, that's my recommendation. But honestly, it's a work that's so unique, it needs more explanation. William Hope Hodgson was a sailor, and even a fitness instructor at one point. His literary output only came from a period of 11 years. Then he was killed in World War II. However, the marvels he produced in that short time have stood on their own ever since. They are typically filed under horror, though some combine elements of fantasy and science fiction. His story, The House on the Borderland, expands to a cosmic scale approaching Olaf Stapledon's Star Maker. However, The Nightland must be his most singular work. Published in 1912, its mood and vision praised by the likes of C.S. Lewis and H.P. Lovecraft. The latter remarked that it is something no reader can ever forget. True, because The Nightland is about a world plunged into eternal darkness, lit by distant fires and pits of flame. It is untold millions of years in the future, and the last remnant of humanity has been forced to sequester itself in the Great Redoubt, a mountainous pyramid of metal. Outside this shelter are a myriad of horrors that stalk the landscape, from evil hounds to giant slugs. More than that, there is a sinister magic element to the dark forces as well. Watchers, giant beings that remain motionless as they regard the Great Redoubt, some not having moved in eons. Then there is the House of Silence, which it seems has always been there, and from which no sounds come, and yet its lights are perpetually on. The protagonist sets forth across the nightmare landscape after having a vision, a telepathic call for help from a maiden in another pyramid, one which is failing, and as we soon learn, becomes overrun by the monsters. Our hero is equipped with a discos, a staff with a lethal spinning disc at the end, which seems to have a minor intelligence of its own. The narrative is written in a kind of 18th century style prose, which can be strange and somewhat difficult at first. It certainly plunges you into a time and place not your own. One main criticism has been this aspect of the writing, but also a large amount of sentimental amorous passages concerning the maiden. Some of these were excised in the 1972 Ballantine edition. That was split into 2 volumes. Having read no other edition, I found the experience as awesome as I've built it up to be. There are scenes toward the end that still elicit a strong emotion at their recollection. As the hero approaches the Great Redoubt once more, bringing the maiden with him, in order to thwart the encroaching beasts around him, those at the top of the pyramid determine to use their greatest and most dangerous weapon, the Earth Current. And in this moment there came afresh to my hearing the shaking beat of the Earth Current, so that I knew the humans to take desperate means to save. And there came to my view a vast pack of the hounds unto my left, and they came running at a great pace, and their heads did be low, and they to be so great as horses, and be seen plain, and again in shadow, all in the same moment as they did come. And in verity I knew that we two to be dead indeed ere a minute be gone, if that the humans not to haste. And I stood where I did be, for there was no more use to run, and I looked from the hounds unto the mighty pyramid, and again to the hounds, and again I looked with my hope gone unto the pyramid, for the hounds did be scarce 200 fathoms off from me, and there did be hundreds of the mighty beasts. And lo, even as I looked the last time unto the pyramid, there brake out a monstrous bursting flame, that did rush downward from the sealed lower part of the mighty pyramid, and the flames smote downward upon the land where the hounds did run, and all the night to be lost from my sight in the brightness and strangeness of that mighty flame, so that I saw no more the pyramid or aught, but only the shining and dreadful glory of that flame. And the flame made a blast in the night, and a hotness that did seem to wither me, even where I did be from it. And I perceived that the humans had truly turned loose the Earth Current upon the hounds, that I be saved. And there went a constant great thundering over the land, because that the earth force did rend and split the air, and did tear up the earth, and the roaring of the monsters did be hushed and lost in that mighty sound. And I to see no place where the hounds did be, but only flames and broken lands where the earth force did strike. And great rocks did be hurled all withers, with a vast noise, and truly it did be a mercy that I was not slain 100 times, if this might be, by the fallings and burstings of great rocks and boulders. And afterwards I to learn that the dear Master Monstruacon made to warn me of danger, but that all the instruments of the Tower of Observation to fail to work, and likewise all the machinery of the pyramid to cease, even unto the moving of the great lifts, and the moan of the air pumps, and all to have been this way for nigh a great hour, until that the earth current did flow again more full. And surely this doth show that death did nigh to come unto all the millions, because of the great trial that did be made to save us. A dark landscape right out of a Hieronymus Bosch painting, a strong, single-minded hero fighting monsters to save a damsel in distress, all wrapped in an aged air of inconceivable mystery. What more could you want from a dark fantasy story?